Hi, this is CCT Buzz with Tony Lind, the director of The Elephant Man. Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about the show?
Elephant Man, John Merrick had a horrible disease, a disorder, and he was put in circuses, mistreated, treated very, very badly, and that was his life for a long, long time until Treves found him, Mr. Treves found him, and saved him, so to speak. And so he became a ward of the hospital, and he actually got to meet people, become a part of society, and become a little bit normalized. And this is his journey. The really remarkable thing about it is that even though he had this human condition, his humanity came forth and touched every single life that he met. And that's the lovely part of the story, that even though it's not just a complete downer, it has a lot of very wonderful moments and sweetness of character. And that's what people should come and see.
Here with Chris from The Elephant Man. So we're just going to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
Go ahead and tell us who you play.
I play John Merrick, the Elephant Man.
And tell us a little bit about that character and in the show.
The character and in the show. Well, he's an actual person who actually existed in England in the 1880s, and he was horribly deformed by a terrible genetic disorder that caused his bones and his skin to grow into abnormal sizes in particular parts of his body. But he was a very gentle soul and a very bright and intelligent man. All of that was hidden inside this absolutely abhorrent and hideous exterior. It's very sad. He longed for human companionship, and it was only until Dr. Treves actually rescued him and housed him at the London Hospital in England that he began to experience that sort of companionship.
With Brad from The Elephant Man, and I'm just going to go ahead and ask you a few questions about the show. So, what character are you playing?
I play the character Bishop Howe.
And tell us a little bit about that.
Bishop Howe is a fellow who comes into the life of John Merrick, the Elephant Man, and tries to be kind as well as he understands it, and represents, I think, some very standard morals and values that Dr. Treves will eventually come to call into question.
What would you say would be one of your favorite parts of the show?
Oh, one of my favorite parts of the show, I think it would most definitely have to be his meeting of the famous actress Mrs. Madge Kendall. When he meets her and the bond and friendship and relationship that they share, that's my favorite part of the entire show, and especially the end of the first act after their first meeting. It's wonderful.
If you had to name one of your idols for acting or artistry, who would it be?
I find myself thinking of the late Philip Seymour Hoffman. Too bad we lost him so early, but he could do things without doing anything. He let the camera read his mind in some amazing ways, and I was always very impressed by him.
What would you say one of your favorite moments of the show is?
He has a visit from an actress, played by Gracie Arvizu, Merrick does, and she has a relationship with him. She comes and sees him and visits with him, and she brings him into society. She has society people come and meet with him. And they have a moment where she's actually flirting with him and making him human, and this is his friend, and he becomes so human and so real in these moments that it's absolutely one of my most favorite parts of the show.
To name one of your idols that has inspired you over the years as an actor, as an artist?
That's a little more difficult because I have so many.
You can name a few.
Well, I like the underdog actor who sort of succeeds in spite of it all. I like the character actor who does comedy, drama, musical, who attempts it all whether they fail or not. Johnny Depp, he does it all. And whether he succeeds in your eyes or not doesn't matter to him as long as he tackles it. And I feel very much the same way. I think it's important. You need to accept and tackle what challenges you, whether you succeed or not. The fact that you did it is the most important thing.
If you could describe the show in 3 words, what would they be?
Physician becomes human.
If you had to describe the show in 3 words, what would it be?
Well, I'm afraid it would be 4 words.
Oh.
It would be triumph of the human spirit. So it's 5 words.
Okay, I see where you're going
but
with that, though.
Yeah, it really is the triumph of the human, the spirit. His spirit is so alive and so soaring and so beautiful. And you need to get beyond that hideous exterior to see it. And he's truly beautiful.
The gentleman that plays the part, R.C. Sands, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. There's not a moment that you don't believe him. And even though we're not putting makeup on and giving him the disease, we have 2 posters hung up that show what he actually looks like. And then he does something with his body to make it look like he is having these difficulties. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Every single person that I cast is so good, and I think that they elevated themselves because the show was so good, and we're just having a wonderful time. I'm very, very proud.